You said that your tenure was up in June, however you left in spring. That is, just rentals. You know how things go. In any case, similar to I said, he's going through a separation. I'm certain he has an adequate number of issues. Better believe it. Be that as it may, you've never attached with her. In no way, shape, or form. It has been quite a while since I've considered a separation to be untidy as the one including Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner. At the end of the day, Kevin is over here making it seem as though his ex is a gold-digging miscreant who needs to leave him elaborate and jobless, while Christine makes it seem as though Kevin is a miserly, unpleasant ex who just needs to see her endure. So who's on the right track for this situation? Furthermore, what on earth is happening with this ever-changing about their separation? It's a terrible spot to be, however this is where we're at. A little of foundation. Kevin and Christine got hitched in September 2004, stamping Kevin Costner's subsequent marriage following his separation from Cindy Silva in 1994. At that point, Kevin and Christine were getting together. Kevin was a piece reluctant to have children, however Christine was evidently forthright with him on the very beginning of their relationship about needing to begin a family. Furthermore, back in 2020, Kevin even had that discussion with her. Assuming you will accompany me, on the off chance that you want to realize that children are toward the stopping point for me with you, assuming that will occur, well. Ultimately they felt free to have children Caden Wyatt and Hayes, Logan and little girl Elegance Avery. What's more, as you might be aware, Kevin Costner is likewise a father to 4 different kids from past connections, specifically Annie, Lily, Joe, and Liam. Sadly, following 18 years of marriage, Christine understood that the marriage was done working for herself and she petitioned for legal separation. Fans found out toward the start of May 2023 that Kevin and Christine were getting a separation, yet they had really isolated a piece before. Presently, albeit the specific date of their split wasn't uncovered until May. Court filings later affirmed that Christine recorded their date of partition as April 11th. And she referred to hopeless contrasts as the justification for their separation. Christine likewise mentioned joint guardianship of their 3 youngsters, and in his reaction recorded May 2nd, Kevin additionally requested joint care and referred to beyond reconciliation contrasts as the justification behind their separation. Evidently Kevin's requesting work plan was hard for Christine on the grounds that she believed them should invest family energy at their St. Nick Barbara home. However, during recording, Kevin was not around definitely, and his non-attendance had been extremely hard for her. So since it didn't seem as though that would change and logical could deteriorate, it caused strain at home and that pushed Christine to petition for legal separation. It feels so awful. We're discussing someone I love on the opposite side. There is no way. Then the show started in June when Kevin guaranteed that Christine would not take off from the house and he really recorded to have her strongly expelled. He expressed that according to his prenuptial concurrence with Christine, she had 30 days to take off from the house claimed by Kevin in the wake of seeking legal separation. Also, since she documented on May 1st, she should be out before that month's over. Kevin additionally said that he had given $1 million on top of what was expected in their prenuptial understanding, meaning he had blown away what the prenup determined. The reports likewise expressed that Kevin was ready to contribute a $10,000 advance toward Christine's moving expenses and $30,000 each month for a rental home. In the wake of going this way and that with Kevin about why she ought to be permitted to remain in the house, an adjudicator at last decided that Christine ought to empty the home. Yet, that was only the start in light of the fact that Christine likewise requested $248,000 complete for every one of the 3 youngsters each month. She affirmed the figure was not exactly the sum expected to keep up with the youngsters in their acclimated way of life and furthermore mentioned that Kevin ought to pay 100% of non-public school educational cost, extracurricular exercises and sports and medical services costs for their 3 children. I know that is huge load of cash to request. All things considered, in light of Christine's announcement of request, Kevin called the solicitation for $248,000 each month, exceptionally expanded and unverified. He needed to pay $38,000 a month in youngster support, notwithstanding 100% of specific kid-related costs, including tuition-based school educational cost, books, charges and garbs and school trips, kids' games camps and other settled upon extracurricular exercises. He later refreshed the proposal to $51,940 each month, and Christine called that totally improper. At last, the separation judge stretched out Kevin's brief regularly scheduled installments to $129,755 in youngster support. What's more, that was subsequently chopped down to $63,000 each month. FYI, I heard Christine spends around $80K on excellence and restorative strategies consistently, so that is $63K is certainly not going to cut it, honey. So Christine likewise said that Kevin ought to pay an extra $350,000 in lawyer's charges and $150,000 in measurable expenses. What's more, try to keep your hat on, she didn't actually trust that Kevin's endorsement will take that action. The show proceeded when Kevin diminished Christine's visa spending in light of the fact that Christine changed business as usual by charging more than $105,000 to separate from legal counselors and scientific bookkeepers with no notification ahead of time to him. Then, Kevin mentioned for a movement that would obstruct Christine from eliminating specific things from the St. Nick, Barbara, California, home where they resided during their marriage. Kevin said that she ought to take her toiletries, dress, purses and gems, yet abandoned some other thing in the recording. Kevin additionally referenced that Christine had been assuming loans on praise cards gave not to her, but rather to staff individuals without his insight or assent. He likewise noticed that Christine purchased a vehicle not long before their partition, which could show that she might have been thinking ahead on an inevitable split. What's more, to compound an already painful situation, Homegirl even traveled in the show as she was spotted on a Hawaiian oceanside with her children. Furthermore, Josh Connor, who is a lender, isn't Josh Connor like Kevin's companion? Man, this entire circumstance is simply chaotic. In any case, toward the start of August, there was one more recording by Kevin where he requested that the court constrain Christine to expressly respond to various inquiries they put to her about the early arrangement. She obviously abstained from addressing questions, including whether she comprehended the arrangement before she marked it. Also, guess what? Yet we don't have the foggiest idea what Christine actually has up her sleeves. Furthermore, indeed, I actually have 2 or 3 inquiries. Is Kevin frantic that Christine left and he simply needs to disappoint her, or did Christine go excessively far with her monetary solicitations? Do you accept that she just wedded Kevin for the cash and the way of life? Tell me your considerations on this exceptionally muddled separate from in the remarks area beneath.